You are with me, Miriam Angel, Salim Barisa, and Emmanuel Gona. And in studio again, we just had a beautiful conversation with Terry Mongeli. And right now, for those people who are thinking about learning another language, so we have our mother tongue. And then we also have the national language. Languages, right?
Yeah.
So there's the mother tongue and then our national language. Languages.
Yes. Kiswahili and English, of
Oh,
course.
yeah.
Kiswahili
is our national language.
Okay.
Kiswahili waliongeza tu.
Wewe ulienda shule gani?
English.
Waliongeza
we have
kama
two.
bakshish.
Bakshishi. Okay.
Iko katika katiba.
So we have that. And so the mother tongue we tunajua sana. And then Kiswahili pia tunangangana wengine wetu. Alafu Kiingereza pia twajua na tunangangana.
Tunabambanya. Kama mimi nabambanya.
So there is the basic. But then the people who go to an extra mile of learning a foreign language.
Yeah.
Yes. And one would wonder, why?
Kwa nini?
Yeah, like why do I need to go to the extent of learning a foreign language?
Nitoke kwa mamangu nijue Kiswahili na Kizungu afu niongeze tena.
For it's too much work.
Hey, ni kazi kubwa.
Now today you're going to learn why it's not too much work.
Okay.
In studio we do have Hadija Bakari. She is an academic coordinator at Alliance Française, Mombasa. And then we have Grace Mutisya, and she's also a French facilitator at Busy Bee Nyali, and she's a member of Alliance. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good.
That's Hadija.
Yeah,
Hadija, how are you?
I'm very good.
Good morning, Grace.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. Okay, so now let's do it in French.
Okay.
On to the
Bonjour, madame.
Bonjour.
Comment allez-vous?
Where?
Aisha. That's it. That's
Comment-
it, Hadija.
Comment allez-vous? Comment ça va?
I was about to wait. I wanted you to ask me my name. Like,
Greetings first.
okay, so
And I called you by the
Bonjour.
title first. So bonjour, madame.
bonjour,
It's also a sign
Hadija.
of respect. Yeah.
Okay, bonjour, Hadija.
Comment allez-vous? How you doing? How are you?
Sema
I'm doing
comment ça
fine.
va.
That was comment ça va is different.
Actually, you can use como ça va.
Oh, you
It's an
see.
equivalent, a more casual equivalent to comment allez-vous. Yeah.
Maua tafadhali.
Comment ça va? So what does comment ça va mean? How do I respond to how are you doing?
So comment ça va and comment allez-vous
Yeah.
is actually the same thing, just said in different ways.
Yeah.
Comment ça va is more casual. Comment allez-vous is more respectuous.
Okay.
So in a formal setting, comment allez-vous is
Yes.
recommended.
Yes.
So that's why I put that one first. But if I say comment ça va, it's still okay, but it's mostly recommended in a more relaxed.
So Hadija,
speech.
how does one respond to comment allez-vous?
Comment allez-vous or comment ça va, you say bien, je vais bien.
Oh.
I'm doing well or bien, simplement.
Oh,
Or
bien.
Bien simplement.
Je vais bien.
Bien, it means good.
Ah,
I'm
bien.
good. I'm fine.
Bien.
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 Je vais bien. It's more formal and it sounds better.
So-
It's a complete phrase.
Salim, comment allez-vous?
Bien. Hiyo nyingine.
Je vais bien.
Yeah, I think Salim will tell us where he learned his French because he's good.
Hey. Maua tafadhali.
But you see, have you noticed when you're speaking French, it's the body
Hey,
language.
Exactly.
Nashindwa.
Exactly. It's
How come nimepata movement? I'm going to take these classes.
it's a particularity of the language.
Yeah.
It's like the whole system, is mobilized. So it's the word, it's the eyes, it's the facial expression, it's the hands, it's the shoulders. When you say, I don't know, it comes with,
Oh.
with the gestures as well. So, it's a beautiful way of putting the message across.
Yeah.
Because it's not just the wording that comes out, but there's the whole system that's mobilized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know that because every time you say it, first of all, you feel like you're so humble all of a sudden. And then you feel like you just well put. And then even Salim is just like, beer.
Yeah.
Like je vis bien. Okay.
Where?
It's a language of romance. That's why.
Thank you.
That's where it comes from. Yeah. So
Ah.
Salim just, became romantic naturally just by
Naturally.
saying a few words in French.
Well, Ish. Okay. I
Now
appreciate.
say Mexi.
Huh?
Mexi.
Merci. Merci beaucoup.
Merci
Yes.
beaucoup.
Merci beaucoup.
Ah, Salim.
Mimi wachana na mimi, my friend.
Umeng'ara leo.
And by that, it's musical as well. As English speakers, sorry not to be biased, I'm
Yeah.
just using English speakers because we're Anglophone.
Yeah.
Okay.
As English speaker, we have like a very straight way of saying words. You'd say, je m'appelle Khadija.
Je m'appelle.
With that kind of tone. In French, you
Yes.
say, je m'appelle Khadija.
The intonation as
The
well.
intonation as well. It comes with it.
Oh, that's a lot of
Sure.
lessons. Hadija, let's get into the conversation. First of all, Alliance Francais, what do you do at Alliance?
So, allow me, please. Most people call it Alliance Française. It's Alliance Française.
Oh,
Why I want to say
Française.
that? Yeah, Alliance
Okay.
Française.
okay.
Why I want to say that? Also, for people to know, to pronounce it better.
Yeah.
It sounds better, and that's the correct way of pronouncing it.
Yeah.
In French, maybe one extra thing that might shock you is that we have feminine words and masculine words. So français is masculine, and for Alliance, it's like it falls into the feminine group
Yeah.
of words.
Yeah.
So Alliance Française, it means you're giving it its proper place as a feminine word. When you say Alliance Française, you're giving it a different identity.
So,
Wow.
It's Alliance Française, it falls in the category of female words.
Okay.
So Alliance Française de Mombasa.
It's just for. It is not fro. It's Alliance Française.
Alliance Française, it's the ending.
Française.
Yeah, so we tend to say Alliance Française. I included before I started learning French, I would say
Yeah.
Alliance Française, just like everybody else.
Yes.
But then I came to understand through learning that it's Alliance Française because of,
yeah.
classification of words it as feminine or masculine.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah,
It's
so
a
Alliance
feminine
Française, to continue with that, to answer your questions. What we do at Alliance Française de Mombasa, I'll talk about Alliance Française de Mombasa because we are based in Mombasa,
Yeah.
but it's actually a part of a big global network. Alliance Française by itself, it's a global network. There are very many in the world. In fact, there are around 800, if I'm not wrong, 800 Alliance Française in the world, in 35 countries, and in almost all the continents, actually. So you can find Alliance Française in Kenya, you can find in New York, you can find in Asia, different countries in Asia, you can find them in Africa,
Yeah.
everywhere in the world. And at the head is the foundation. There's the Alliance Française Foundation,
Yeah.
which is now the organism that coordinates all the Alliance Française in the world. So the main mandate of the Alliance Française as a structure on its own is to promote linguistic and cultural diversity in the world. So
Okay.
the main, of course, when you talk of linguistic, the main will be French, the teaching of French,
Yeah.
but it also welcomes, other languages in some cases,
Yeah.
so that, we can talk of a broader linguistic diversity.
Okay.
And at the same time, it also falls in the category of cultural centers because it's not just about, language and culture go together. So if you're learning a language, it means you're incorporating also the culture and everything that comes with it.
All right.
So, and culture, if Alliance Française is planted in Mombasa, it means it's not just focusing on French culture, but the local culture as well. Yeah, so in short, Alliance Française in Mombasa, Alliance Française de Mombasa is an institution that fosters linguistic and cultural diversity.
Okay. Alliance Française de Mombasa.
Alliance Française de Mombasa.
De Mombasa.
De Mombasa. Now, Grace Mutisya, you
Yes.
are a French teacher,
Yes, I am.
but you've had quite a journey as well.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah. Talk to us about your journey when you studied French and what opportunities it has opened up for you.
Okay, my journey with French started a long time ago.
Yeah.
Actually, when I was in primary school, I studied it. Of course, we were doing the basics. After that, I found myself in high school having that opportunity to do it in high school as well. and I studied it for 4 years. And after high school, because I reside in Mombasa, that's when I started my journey with the Alliance Francaise. Actually, I remember Khadija was also still my course, academic supervisor, coordinator. So it was really cool. I spent my post high school year studying French, and I actually fell in love with French at that point, because I'd love how I'd go to Alliance and I'd see all those nice posters, I'd see the pictures of France and all that. It was very lovely, and they were very warm and welcoming and nice, so I just loved it.
What was the motivation for you at that point in deciding that, okay, fine, I want to study French? And then what? Did you think about the next?
Yes, at that point, I'd say my motivation was, I'd say just like, it was more like what people call nowadays the Lulu, because I was like, I love this, I'd love to go to France and sit at a nice restaurant in Paris, have coffee and have, this croissant. By the way, it's croissant. 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 We call it croissant, but well, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
That nice French pastry. So at that point, it was more like delusional that I just really wanted to go to France. So I was like, let me just do French. So I'd have this imaginary version of being in France. And I didn't know it will get serious, because I did the international examinations they offer, which is called DELF. DELF exam, DELF. So I did my B1 level advanced at that stage. And again, I found myself with French when I went to the university. Yeah, that's the University of Nairobi. I found myself again in the Faculty of Arts, where I did it for quite a number of years as one of my majors. And I just fell in love with French the more. After that, through the Alliance Francaise de Mombasa and also the embassy, they have a certain program which is called Assistant de Langue, where a group of Kenyans rather, they go to France for that cultural linguistic experience, where they animate classes to French students in English. So it was more like a franglais, as we'd say, French English experience. And guess what? I was actually in Paris with a croissant and a cup of coffee. So I was like, oh, okay.
So your dream came true.
Yes, my dream came true. And I found it really, really cool. So I say French for me, it's a part of me I can't let go. I just say, it's just French, but for me, it's more than that. It's become more integrated into my life, and it's actually a beautiful experience.
So for you, you're saying, so you go to France, and while you're there, so you're teaching other students the English language?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, interesting.
Yeah, we are Anglophones, in Kenya, and so they take a couple of students. You can say students because I was just like in my final year at that point. So you go to France, and of course you have to know French. Yeah, because you're going to be dealing with French students. You're going to be dealing with even when it's not necessarily at school or at your workplace, when you're out there, when you're at the restaurant or when you're at the at the train station shopping and all those things you love, you have to speak to the citizens, to the residents. So of course English helps, because at work you have to be able to know how will I translate this to English from French. So it's good to have that level, that good level of both languages. And French helped me. And of course, at least the level of French I had by then, it really, really helped. And you'd find yourself learning more because you get to see how they actually speak it in in France. Yeah.
Well, in France, because we spoke yesterday,
Yes.
and you said you don't just speak one foreign language. You also speak Spanish.
Yes.
How did that come about?
Again, the Lulu. What